When you rent equipment from the 50s, you're bound to have some problems with it, and that's kind of what's going on right now. A little while ago, the Jubilee developed a pretty bad miss, sputter, I'm not really sure what to call it, but it's become quite an issue and it's getting worse and worse. So I think we've reached the point where I need to get it here into the shop so that I can tear it apart and try to figure out what's going on. That, among many other things, is what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I'm hoping, it seems like it runs, you know, for a minute or so. So I'm hoping it at least runs long enough where I can pull it up onto the trailer and get it home. But as long as I was pulling the trailer over here, I figured today would be a good cleanup day. So I got the mower and the weed whacker, and I want to try to clean up around here. I'm starting to get a lot of weeds coming in, and I don't want them to get too tall. So let's get after that, and then we'll try to get this tractor home. Well, the grass is starting to look a little bit nicer around here, but I've still got these junk piles that I need to move, so I probably won't have time to move everything down and get rid of it today, but I can at least get started. So let's put the bucket on the loader tractor with the forks and start hauling some of this junk out of here. I may regret trying to get all this on one load, but you know, I think she can do it, so I'm gonna try. All right, well, now it's time to see if this tractor is gonna run long enough for me to get it up on the trailer. I've got the trailer backed over here pretty close to it, so hopefully all I gotta do is flip a U and just pull it right up on there. Cross your fingers. Perseverance paid off. She's up there. It's the next day now. I've got the tractor home sitting here on the trailer, and after messing around with it a little bit last night, I have sort of reached the conclusion that it's gonna have to go into the shop. So there's a few bigger jobs that I've been wanting to do with this tractor for a while, and we'll just kind of make a long story short and say that now is the time. I'm gonna get that moved into the shop a little bit later, and once it's in there, I'll talk more about what has happened to it and what needs to be done. But for now, we're putting a pin in that because I need to get some rice ground up for these pigs. I've showed this process before, and there's really not a whole heck of a lot to see, except for the fact that this time I am going to try something a little bit differently. So I thought I'd bring you guys along and we can all kind of see how it works. Normally when I grind rice, I put it into this 55-gallon drum, and that is all well and good when the pigs are small, but they're out of size now and their appetites have evolved to the point where this 55-gallon drum only lasts them a week. So that means I'm having to grind feed every single week, and to be honest, I'm just getting sick of it. The grinding of the feed is not difficult, but getting everything out, everything situated, the hammer mill hooked up to the tractor, the bins in the right spot, everything is just a pain, and it takes forever. The actual grinding is easy, but everything that surrounds it is hard. So let me show you what I'm gonna try this time. Instead of grinding the rice and directing it into that drum, I'm gonna get one of these 4x4 bins cleaned up and try to make it to where the hammer mill can dump the ground rice directly into here. Now you might be wondering, why have I not done this sooner? Because it's a pretty simple fix, and let me show you why. The main problem is the hammer mill itself. The way this discharge ducting is, it wouldn't be able to reach over to one of those big bins. The only thing that I've been able to do up to this point is just stick that 55-gallon drum right here, and then it just kind of goes directly into it. But I have got my hands on an extension pipe that will bolt right in here at this 180-degree turn and extend this out 4 feet to where we can dump it into the bin. The only thing that I'm not sure about and that I'm a little worried about is the fan on this hammer mill is already kind of weak because I run it slower than it's really supposed to go. And that's just because I need a different size pulley here on the back, but that's another story. So I'm hoping that the fan is gonna have enough power to blow not only up, I mean, we're not gonna be going up any higher, but we're just gonna have to be going over another 4 feet. It's just more ducting that the fan is gonna have to push that rice through. I think it will do it. I hope it will do it. But there's only one way to find out. But like I kind of touched on earlier, can't do anything until I get everything set up. So let's do that first. Well, I got my bin moved over here, and as I was trying to get it cleaned out, I noticed that it's got some big cracks and big holes in the bottom of it. It would hold the whole rice, but with the rice ground up, I think it will be able to come out of that hole, which is not a huge deal. We wouldn't lose that much, except that I'm worried that that's going to end up attracting rodents, and then they are going to figure out that this is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I just don't want to feed them like that. So I think before I grind rice and fill this thing up, I'm going to have to go ahead and patch up these holes. Well, it's not the prettiest repair job, certainly, but I just need it to hold for a month, and I think it should at least do that. And that is actually going to kind of kill my momentum here. I can't really do anything with this until the caulking dries on the bottom of the bin. So I guess we'll give it a few hours, let it dry, and revisit this. It's the next day now. I decided to go ahead and let this dry overnight, and lo and behold, it's still kind of soft this morning. So to kind of cover my bases, I went ahead and sunk a few tech screws in this angle iron to hold it in place so that when I come back and pick it up with the forks, hopefully I don't just knock those off. But at any rate, I think it is going to plug that hole up, at least for our purposes today. So I'm going to stand this bin back up and we'll put it over by the hammer mill and get to grinding. All right, it's looking to me like everything's in the right place. I've got what will be the finished bin here right on an angle, but that spout should come out and dump more or less right into the middle of it. That's the goal. On the other side, I've got the hopper here close enough to this bin that I'm hoping I can just stand in there and bucket it in or shovel it in. Let's go get our extension to put on that spout and see how this all lines up. All right, well, it's looking like everything's ready to go here. Well, I think we can call it a day. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.